Patch off prep.
Another normal afternoon at Dots HQ. So I am going to be taking part in the All Stars Patch Off at Synth East next February, and I'm very excited about it. And what I wanted to talk about today was my first iteration, I'm sure it's not going to be my last, of my performance case that I'm intending to take. So I'm going to go through some of the modules that I've got in there and explain why I've put them in there. Starting off with the brain of the modular system for me, which is the Endorphins ground control. So this does all my sequencing, so my oscillator sequencing, my drum sequencing, so you can do things on the fly, you can do arpeggiators, you can play notes in, you can create sequences on the fly. It's a great performance tool, and so I thought that would be a pretty safe bet. I've also got Pam's Pro Workout in for clock and modulation purposes. For my oscillator, I am using Mutable Instruments Platts. The reason for that is there's 36 algorithms in it, so it's very versatile. I can change the sound up. So here's just a few examples. Okay, it can go a bit crazy. Let's bring it back. Alongside that, I've got the Javelin envelope and the Carbon filter by WMD, both excellent performance-based modules. For drums, I've got the Squawk Instruments Rample, which is a drum sampler. I've still got to get to grips with this because it's a fairly new module, but I thought it takes up a small amount of HP and provides me with a full set of drums. I've also got the Doepfer A138 mixer so that I can mix in my drums. For effects, I'm using the Endorphins Milky Way, so I can add a bit of reverb. There's also lots to explore on the Milky Way. We've got delay and all kinds of wonderful effects. And then I've got my performance related modules. First one being the Doepfer A178 theremin. So this sends CV out and I can modulate a whole host of wonderful things, and it also looks fab while you're doing it. I have one of my favourites in here being the IntelliGel FSR, which sends out CV according to pressure. At the moment I'm getting it modulating the octave. Finally, on to utility modules. I've got attenuators in here, I've got a couple of mixers, one being the IntelliGel mixer, which is taking both of the outputs from Platts, so I can either play one or the other or both. And I've got the Endorphins Cockpit as my main mixer, and that gives a bit of sidechain as well. I've also got the Bastel LOL, which is a 3x mute stroke mult, and that allows me to turn my theremin on and off at the click of a button. I've also got a little handy USB point here to either put a light in there in case I can't see what I'm doing, or it's very handy for powering up my Korg oscilloscope as I practice, because it's very handy to see the waveform and what's happening in your system when you're trying to create some patches. So yeah, just having a bit of a jam and a bit of fun with this system. I'm going to explore it a bit more over the next few months, might take things out, might add new things in, who knows. I'm all for keep changing my system, so we'll see.